Imagine a prison so secure, so isolated, that once you enter it, the outside world almost disappears forever. A place where prisoners spend 23 hours a day alone inside a concrete cell. A place where even the most dangerous criminals on earth are locked away. Terrorists, cartel leaders, serial killers, and criminals considered too dangerous for any normal prison. This place has one rule: escape is impossible. Welcome to the most dangerous prison in the world, the Supermax facility known as ADX Florence. Located deep in the mountains of Colorado in the United States, this prison was designed with one purpose: to hold the criminals that no other prison could control. But how did this prison come into existence, and why is it considered the most secure prison on Earth? To understand that, we need to go back to the 1980s. Why this prison was built. During the 1980s, the United States prison system faced a serious problem. Some prisoners were simply too dangerous to be kept inside normal prisons. These criminals attacked guards, organized crimes from inside prison walls, and in some cases even murdered correctional officers. One of the most shocking incidents happened in 1983 at the United States Penitentiary, Marion. 2 prison guards were brutally killed by inmates in separate incidents on the same day. The prison system realized something alarming. Some criminals were so violent and influential that traditional prisons simply could not contain them, so the government decided to build a new type of prison. A prison designed not just to hold criminals, but to completely isolate them from the rest of the world. The result was a Supermax prison, and in 1994, the United States opened the most secure prison ever built, ADX Florence. Some prisoners describe this experience as being locked inside a human-sized cage under the open sky. Communication with other inmates is almost impossible. Guards escort prisoners individually through hallways, movements are tightly controlled, and security procedures are extremely strict. The goal of this prison is not rehabilitation. The goal is containment. The most dangerous prisoners. ADX Florence houses some of the most infamous criminals in modern history: terrorists, drug cartel leaders, gang bosses, and prisoners who committed violent acts even while inside other prisons. One well-known inmate was Joaquin Guzman, the infamous leader of the Sinaloa cartel. Another prisoner was Ted Kaczynski, responsible for a series of bomb attacks across the United States. Many prisoners inside ADX Florence were considered too dangerous to interact with other inmates. Some were placed there after organizing crimes from inside prison walls. Others attacked prison staff in previous facilities. ADX Florence became the final destination for criminals that authorities believed could not be controlled anywhere else. Escape attempts. The prison's design makes escape extremely difficult. In fact, since the prison opened in 1994, no inmate has successfully escaped from ADX Florence. The security system includes multiple layers: electronic doors, constant surveillance, armed guards, and strict inmate movement procedures. Every prisoner is monitored closely. Even simple activities such as leaving a cell require several security checks, but despite the security, some prisoners have attempted to challenge the system. There have been reports of inmates trying to communicate secretly through pipes or coded messages. Others attempted to manipulate guards or exploit small procedural weaknesses. But the prison structure was specifically designed to prevent these possibilities. Even planning an escape becomes almost impossible due to the level of isolation. Controversy. While ADX Florence is considered one of the most secure prisons on Earth, it has also faced heavy criticism. Human rights groups argue that the extreme isolation used in Supermax prisons can cause serious psychological damage. Many prisoners spend years in near total solitude. Some experts say prolonged isolation can lead to depression, anxiety, hallucinations, and severe mental health problems. Because of this, several lawsuits have been filed challenging the conditions inside the prison. Critics argue that even dangerous criminals should not be subjected to extreme isolation for decades. Supporters of the prison argue the opposite. They believe facilities like ADX Florence are necessary to protect prison staff and society from extremely dangerous individuals. The debate continues to this day. Ending buildup, ADX Florence represents one of the most extreme examples of modern prison security. A place designed to isolate the most dangerous criminals in the world. A place where escape is nearly impossible, but even in the most secure prison on Earth, Some inmates have tried to challenge the system. Some attempted to outsmart the guards. Others tried to communicate secretly with the outside world. And a few even planned escape attempts that shocked prison officials. But even inside the most secure prison on Earth, the story does not end with concrete walls and steel doors, because the real danger inside a prison like this is not just the criminals. It is the psychological battle that happens every single day. Inside the walls of ADX Florence, time moves differently. For most prisoners around the world, prison life still includes human interaction. They see other inmates, they talk to people, they walk in shared yards. But inside ADX Florence, things are very different. Here, isolation is the system itself. Many prisoners spend years, sometimes decades, in solitary confinement. Their cells measure only a few feet across. The walls are thick concrete, the bed is built directly into the wall, and the door is solid steel. The only view of the outside world is a narrow window that shows nothing but the sky. No streets, no mountains, no people. Just sky. For many inmates, that small window becomes their only connection to the outside world. Some prisoners mark the days by watching the light change as the sun moves across the sky. Others lose track of time completely, because when every day looks the same, time begins to disappear. The routine. Life inside ADX. Florence follows an extremely strict routine. Every movement is controlled. Every action is monitored. A typical day begins early in the morning. Food trays are passed through a slot in the door. Prisoners eat alone, they clean their cells, they sit, they wait. And then they sit some more. For hours at a time, the only sound inside the cell block is silence, occasionally broken by footsteps of guards walking down the corridor, or the sound of heavy metal doors closing somewhere in the building. For 1 hour each day, prisoners are allowed to leave their cells. But even this is not freedom. They are escorted by guards to a small outdoor recreation area. The space is often described as a concrete cage. High walls surround it. A metal grate covers the top. The prisoner cannot see the outside world. They cannot see other inmates. They simply stand alone under the sky for 1 hour. Then they return to the cell, and the cycle begins again. The most notorious inmates. Because of its extreme security, ADX Florence has housed some of the most infamous criminals in modern history. Among them was Ted Kaczynski. Kaczynski carried out a bombing campaign that lasted nearly 2 decades. His attacks targeted universities, airlines, and scientists. After his arrest, he was eventually transferred to ADX Florence because of the seriousness of his crimes. Another infamous inmate connected to the prison system was Joaquin Guzman. El Chapo became famous for escaping prison multiple times in Mexico. In one of the most shocking prison escapes in history, he disappeared through a mile-long tunnel dug directly under his cell. The tunnel was equipped with lighting, ventilation, and even a motorcycle on rails. After his capture and extradition to the United States, authorities ensured that security around him would be far stricter than any prison he had experienced before. Facilities like ADX Florence exist partly because of criminals like him. Criminals who proved that ordinary prisons were not enough. Escape, or the impossibility of it. The idea of escaping from ADX Florence is almost unimaginable. The prison was specifically engineered to prevent it. Every door inside the facility is electronically controlled. Security cameras monitor nearly every hallway. Guards follow strict procedures when moving inmates. Even communication between prisoners is almost impossible. Cells are arranged in a way that prevents inmates from seeing each other. Soundproof materials reduce the ability to shout messages between cells. Even plumbing systems are designed to prevent prisoners from using pipes to communicate. These design choices may seem extreme, but they were created after decades of studying prison violence and escape attempts. The designers of ADX Florence wanted a prison where escape would not simply be difficult, it would be virtually impossible. And so far, that goal has held. Since the prison opened in 1994, no prisoner has successfully escaped. This debate reflects a larger question about justice, security, and human rights. Final ending. Deep in the mountains of Colorado, surrounded by miles of empty land, ADX. Florence continues to operate as one of the most secure prisons on Earth. a place built to isolate the most dangerous criminals ever captured. A place where the walls are stronger than any escape plan. And where the real battle is not just physical, but psychological. Because sometimes the most powerful prison is not the one made of steel and concrete, it is the one that exists inside the human mind. And inside ADX Florence, that prison may be the hardest one to escape.